Who's in charge of that questions?
I'm asked out.
Yeah, well, I know we've been together for 2 days in a row.
Okay.
What do you got?
How you doing?
Good, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Good to see you again.
You too.
Tell us, okay, how many practices have you been in now?
Oh, God. Good question.
So you have a good feel for the team?
We're getting there. I want to say it. I'd have to figure that out for you. 8 or 9 practices, maybe? But I'm not sure. I'm guessing. I just worry about today.
Yeah.
No, we're getting there. I think we're about to the point. We're going to scrimmage a little bit tomorrow, just because I got to let these guys go up and down. They get sick of the drills. I get sick of teaching the drills. They get sick of doing the drills. But we're probably getting close to the point where this happens every year. You guys get sick of beating each other up. We practice pretty hard, so we're closing in on that point. So we've had some off days because you can only get 30 practices in before your first game. So you got to work. You're taking more than 1 day a week off. You have to. So, but things are going well.
How do you like the makeup of the team?
Well, I think we got great guys. I think I'd love to have David healthy, but knock on wood, other than that, nobody else has missed a practice. Like this time of year, I think you can't get better. It's hard to get better if you can't practice. I was talking to Bob Myers the other day. I guess the Warriors had a public practice the other night, and they had 7 guys. So it's just hard, it's hard. So knock on wood, other than David, and he's been able to do stuff that doesn't involve full speed yet. So if you have all your guys out there, you'll get better. Like I said, that when people ask me how was practice today, my first answer is always great. Nobody got hurt, because you'll get better if you can have them all out there. So it's just a learning process for me as well, though, with this team. Everything's new to them, but they're new to me. So trying to figure out who's going to play where. We're starting to get into that zone. That's why we're going to have a scrimmage tomorrow. We've been in the teaching zone here early. So we got to start getting the scrimmage, I think. I'm not allowed to tell you, that's right, it's secret. We have a scrimmage coming up. The secret scrimmage.
Yeah. Against another D1 team.
Yeah. Secret scrimmage. Soon.
Okay.
Not too soon. I think I'm allowed to say that. But anyway, so we've been in the teaching zone. Then you start to get into the game prep zone. So it's but the guys' attitude and effort's been tremendous. I'm a big believer that that's 70 to 80% of the battle. Like I said, we're healthy, so it allows us to continue to progress.
How's Tiger Campbell and Sharif O'Neal practice? How they're coming along?
Great. They have no restrictions. So for both of them, practice is huge, more so than the other guys, because they're conditioning their body to play basketball again. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle it when we have tomorrow when we do a lot of 5-on-5. We'll bring in some officials in. It'll be interesting to see, how quickly they fatigue, because obviously your substitutions will be limited when you're playing each other.
How much ease is Sharif showing being back and able to go full speed after what he went through?
When you say ease,
Just a comfort and just kind of a confidence that, hey, I can go all out now and nothing's going to happen.
that's his battle. I personally went through it 5 years ago, but it's different when you're in your 40s. It's tough. He doesn't say much. I think I can't speak for him. But I think every day that he plays hard and goes after it, his surgery becomes more and more in his past. He realizes he's okay. All I tell him is, I know you're the most tested athlete in the history of UCLA. So, but I think it's a great question, because it's mentally it'll always be something that he deals with, without question. And it's a tough, obviously, for a young person of any magnitude. I know we had a softball player go through the same thing. So, it's not easy. I'm sure it's something. Having gone through it, I know the further away it gets the less you'll think about it. But I'm sure it's still towards the front of his mind. But he has, you wouldn't know if you watched him practice. Like when you see us play, it's not like he's holding back anything. It's just a matter of, again, when you don't be in a game shape. Because for he and Tiger, they didn't play college basketball. They never got to real college basketball. So that alone is a huge jump. Like what I tell recruits, the biggest difference is the speed and physicality versus what you deal with in high school, where you're exponentially better and probably bigger and more athletic. To playing against guys that are now older, trained, and you're not. So, but you would not know.
With Tiger being cleared, how is he? Do you see that he's mastering the scheme so far, or is that going to take a little bit of time?
Well, I think with all guys, if you practice hard, you're going to continue to get better every day, and he practices hard. So he's not a guy that I have to talk to about his energy level or his effort. So that allows him. Yeah, I think when you practice hard, it accelerates your rate of improvement. And he's a guy with a lot of toughness. Most guys his size are that get to this level, because you don't get to this level if you're at his size if you don't have some fight to you. So he's got that. It's just for him and Sharif, Jake and Jaime, for young players, it's coaching's really important, because you got to help them, because there's things they don't know and they're not really going to know as freshmen. They're not going to. They haven't gone through them before. So you got to try to make things easy as you can on them. So, but I love his attitude, his fight, his effort. He does a good job taking care of the ball. He's got great speed and quickness. I think the last thing that'll come for Tiger would be his shooting, because he's pressuring the ball on defense and he's taking care of the ball. So that's where a lot of his energy goes. So once he's able to do all that and still be able to breathe, catch his breath and make an open shot.
How is the defense adapting to the defensive scheme overall?
We're getting there. I think we've got to communicate better. And, I'm a big believer that you play as one. So to play as one on the defensive end, you have to communicate. So, but that's on me. But our effort, we don't really negotiate effort, so it's kind of non-negotiable. So they're kind of used to that by now. But what I would say, as you get closer to game, to getting game ready, again, back to you got to be able to give continuous effort without fatigue. But as far as them, they've been great. They're trying to do everything we ask them to do.
There used to be portraits of the current roster up on the walls here, and now you've got the legends. Is that your decision?
Yes.
Okay.
I had a fundamental issue with walking in this building and not seeing those guys on the wall. Just personal. I think it was an idea we came up with. So.
You guys seem to like it?
Don't know.
Okay.
That's kind of been your thing, though, just these last few months, is bringing a lot of the guys back in the fold, it seems like.
Well, I don't know about back. I just, for me, you get a chance to meet guys you like, Bill Walton, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Ryan Holland spoke to the guys last week, so did Don McClain, and just trying to keep, try to use all those guys as we can as a resource. I think it's really important that college players understand that they're part of something bigger than themselves. So that encompasses our university, like we have the Dribble for the Cure this Sunday, that they're integrated within our campus and our university environment, as well as the fan base and the former players. So I do a little thing I read and say, how would it be if we ran out to play the guys across town in a big rivalry game and nobody was there? So you have to be appreciative that you're it's not about us. It's not just us. It's all the guys that came before you. It's all the people that support us. So I think, and we represent a university. We're not a club team.
Was there anything you took away from having the two seniors with you going on that trip to San Francisco?
It's always, whenever you can spend time with guys away from the court, it's great, because they're really, really bright guys, interesting guys. I didn't know Alex spoke fluent Polish. I don't know how he's going to be able to use that unless he wants to be a translator at the consulate. But
You never know.
You know, but yeah, I didn't know that his parents actually came over from Poland.
Who are you looking at other than Tiger for like primary ball handlers, guys taking it up?
I think, you know, because Tiger didn't start practicing until late August or early September in our workouts. So Jules and David either. So really, Jules and Prince had, you know, for 4 months played a lot of point guard for us. You know, that's where the coach comes in. You know, if you're going to have a guy that can really handle it a lot, if you don't, you can use bigger guys. There's give and take to everything, where they can be a different type. You know, Phil Jackson played Ron Harper at the point. Now you're too young to remember that.
A little bit.
And he's from, you know, Ron Harper played Miami, Ohio, which is near where I grew up. So, you know, so there's a lot of ways to skin a cat. But those guys, I think it's helped their game having to handle the ball more here in the offseason.
I've been crusading against Chip a closed preseason scrimmage. So for football. So I'm wondering for basketball, is it helpful for you?
The scrimmage thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. I've done it the last couple of years. Yeah, you know, since I think I can say because it's not coming. So we did it with Notre Dame. We did it with Indiana State. I think it's helpful. The problem is sometimes when you play in the exhibition games, you don't get what you're going to get in a regular season game because they don't have the size at the D2 level.
Right.
You know, whomever you're playing against, they can't simulate the size. So it's really not the type of game you're going to really play. So if you can scrimmage another team that has big guys,
Yeah.
you know, they might run around with a bunch of shooters. And it's, you know, I've sat there during those games sometimes and said, this is a waste because they're just putting 5 guards out there and shooting threes because they can't match. We're getting their shot blocked.
Right.
So I think the scrimmage gives you more of a realistic pregame, you know, preseason game than the exhibition game.
Right.
In the old days when you could play the all-star teams.
Oh, right. Marathon Oil.
Yeah, well, I remember, you got people don't know, you know, Lorenzo Romar graduated from Cincinnati.
Wow.
Athletes in Action.
Yes.
He had come back and he was, they beat Cincinnati when 92 when they went to the Final Four.
Wow.
But back then, you know, they had big-time players on those teams.
Yeah, I remember.
But so the D2 teams can't really simulate the size factor. So I like at least having one scrimmage. But I think you need to play one exhibition game just to get the butterflies out,
Yeah.
put the uniform on, and run out in front of other people,
Right.
and not lose your mind and throw the ball away. So you got to kind of have one of each. I think is probably the best way.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you.